Guys, we're going to talk this morning about how to smell a rat in real estate. What's right, what's wrong, what's fact, what's fiction. Stay tuned.
I'm the ringleader, so listen up.
We deliberated over the title for this morning, and we just thought, you know what? Let's just go with it.
You always make me nervous with your topics on Friday.
These are the dulled down versions
Yeah.
of what we're going to write.
I'm like, yeah, great topic, but it's like, yeah. We got to talk
No,
about it.
speak the truth. Speak the truth.
Talk about it.
This is a good topic, actually. Talking about how to smell what's right, what's wrong. I have to say, I was doing a listing presentation the other day.
Yeah.
And I was talking about being number one on the Northern Beaches for sales and volumes. And I was telling explaining to the prospective vendor why that was relevant to them. I don't like to beat my own chest.
Out of 555 agents.
Yeah, why that was relevant to them, because the fact that I'm number one's not really relevant to them. But, the fact that I'm dealing with a huge amount of buyers as a result of that. And she goes, oh, that's weird, because the other agent that I had in here said the same, that they were. And I was like, oh, okay. Well, we can just go onto realestate.com and just have a look. And then we went through and I showed her. So it's, this morning we want to talk about what's fact and what's fiction. The great thing about real estate, Mark, is that it's a really transparent industry.
Very.
Isn't it?
It's very.
Yeah.
It's very. I do have to say, from the inside out, it is a clean. I think there's broken hearts. I think there's mistrust. I get that, but all in all, it is so regulated.
Yeah.
Certainly when there's issues that are reported to fair trading, they are right onto it. So, it's, much like that, different industries, the building industry is heavily regulated, probably too regulated.
Yeah.
The property industry is the same. So I think people can seek comfort in that, to know that, we are bound, we are by a lot of, rules, legislation, that we are, educated, continually year by year, where there's points that we have to do.
Yeah,
it's
all of our training points.
It's pretty good.
Oh, yeah, no, it's really been cleaned up.
There's still there's still the odd smell of a rat.
But more, I should say, in addition to all the regulatory stuff, if an agent's claiming that they are number one, and, I always think it's really important to explain the relevance to the person that you're sitting in front of, instead of going, and I won this award, and I won that award, and I won this award. There's so many real estate awards these days. It's like, I feel like there's a real estate award for absolutely everything, and everyone becomes the number one real estate agent.
We love an award
for something. Oh no, there's no doubt.
Everyone
but there's
loves
more
an
than there
award.
ever were before. You've got Rate My Agent, you've got Real Estate Institute of New South Wales, you've got realestate.com, you've got the Real Estate Business Award. There's just like a million of them.
But everyone loves a trophy since we were kids.
Oh, without a doubt.
Since we were kids at school.
Yeah. No,
you love it.
I agree. And also,
You love
listen, like in so many industries, real estate agents, property managers, and everything that comes under that real estate banner, it's there's a lot of hard work that goes into our industry. The hours are long. The hours are strenuous. The hours can be stressful. I mean, let's look at a long weekend, Mark, for instance, this weekend.
It's short.
The phone is literally tied to us the whole weekend. I mean, for me personally, I don't drop the phone because it's a long weekend.
We call it a short weekend.
On it. Yeah, I worry that the next
weekend.
week is short.
We're working on Saturday.
Yeah.
So it's, short. It gets a bit shortened for real estate. Then you're working on Sunday calls, Monday calls.
Okay, so let's talk about how to smell a rat. And I wanted to talk about this morning, and that, everything from pricing. Most people are getting 3 appraisals. Why is one significantly higher or lower? I wanted to talk about that. I wanted to talk about the agents that claim they're the number one agent and why that's relevant. just so many things. And that's sort of more what I was talking about the transparency in our
Is there,
industry.
when there's an offer on a property, is there really an offer? When you're a buyer and, and you hear there's other offers, is that real, or do you smell a rat?
Did the offer actually get disclosed? I had someone call me the other day.
Did it get submitted to the owner? Did it get disclosed to other buyers? Can you dispose, like, you actually technically can disclose it to other buyers?
Yeah. I don't like to, because I don't
No.
feel that is in the best interests of my vendor to do that. And as agents, we always have to work in the best interests of our vendor. And I don't like that. I wouldn't like my offer being shopped around.
I think you can limit the other people as well. Sometimes it's, you'll just go $1,000 more because it's, the other offer. Whereas, you may go 50,000 more if you don't know the other offer.
Hence, I don't believe that's in the best interest of my vendor, and so that's why I don't do it. But let's talk first, Mark, about pricing. Let's talk about that for a sec.
So appraising a property.
Giving opinions of value.
For rent, for sale.
Yep. Ordinarily, you're an owner and you would get 3 agents in. That seems to be the average.
Yep.
Seems to be the average.
Yep.
Agent A, let's say for hypothetical purposes, comes in with an opinion of value of $1 to $1.1 million on your property.
Yep.
Agent B comes in and they give a very similar opinion of value. And then agent C comes in and says, oh no, this is a 1.3 to 1.4 property. And there's a significant difference in their opinion of value.
Automatically that opportunistic thing comes out in you. You go, maybe they love my property more. Maybe they see what other agents don't see. Maybe I can get that price. Maybe I should use that agent.
Maybe they're over-promising and under-delivering. I'm actually helping a client with a clean-up at the moment. Unfortunately, they did not choose me. Stay tuned, because I am going to be listing the property. They went with the agency that over-promised on price. And that should always set alarm bells ringing for you guys. I'm always saying to my clients, please understand we are all working with the same data.
Yep.
We are not property valuers. We are real estate agents. Our aim is to get you the most amount of money. But we don't give you a value, walk away and just go, too bad, so sad, that's the value. We have to give you an opinion based on our experience and market knowledge, recent sales within the area, particularly within this very, I'd be using properties that have transacted over the last 4 to 6 weeks max.
Yep.
Because the property market has changed again. So the agent that's coming in and is significantly higher in price, it really should set alarm bells ringing.
Yep. And also I should say that this is probably going to be one of the, like, you're going to do transactions like this in your life maybe once, maybe 5 times, maybe 3. These are high value transactions the buyers are doing and the sellers are doing. So naturally, they're going to talk about it thousands and thousands of times. I mean, thousands and thousands of times. I mean, if you counted when you're buying a property or selling a property, how many discussions you have with friends, partners, agents, everyone, it's accountants, solicitors, it's highly discussed. So that whole smell a rat thing, or that micromanaging or overthinking, I smell a rat, is bloody huge. And I get it. I get that it's spoken about that much. What I do have to say is you must deal with the facts. So I get that there's opinions. I get that there's statements that are made. But I think as a consumer being a buyer or a consumer being a seller, my advice to you guys out there is deal with the facts. There's so much data out there at the moment.
I agree.
You can actually literally dig, research, talk to other people, and you can qualify a lot of the information on your pricing, on your agent, on that stuff. So I urge people. I know we're having thousands of conversations, and it can actually go down a rabbit hole. I get that, but try to bring it back out of the rabbit hole and try to just deal with the facts.
And be careful, guys, about going with an agent that has truly overpriced on on your appraisal. Um, there have been times when I've had clients, I've got one at the moment who's gone with an agent who dealt a lot in this particular area on the Northern Beaches. They promised them a price, and I said, guys, I've given you good, honest pricing. That sounds high to me. I'd like to see how they're substantiating that price for you. Now, if they're drawing back to a much higher market and using property comparisons from there, alarm bells should be ringing. Make sure that they are using relevant data that for properties that have transacted in this very recent market. And understand, as real estate agents, we are all dealing with the same data. Okay, there are things that can happen that are out of our control. For instance, we can give an appraisal that that was at a certain price. Let's call it $4 to $4.4 million on a property, and then the very next week a property sold just around the corner for $3.8 million. That's quite similar to the property that we've just appraised, and that can affect the opinion of value that we've given. So there are factors that just real estate agents can't foresee. The market has literally been a roller coaster. It was, it's up 1 minute and it's down the next. Stock levels are up 1 minute and down the next. That can have an effect. And sales that have taken place after we have given our opinion of value, that can also have an effect on pricing as well. But the data's there. I also just want to draw on something else, Mark, about pricing and giving opinions of values. And I did do something on my social media the other day. Realestate.com and Domain. Sometimes I've got clients going, oh, but I went online and I saw that their valuation, Lisa, was much higher than the one that you've given me. Understand, guys, these are marketing platforms and they do a phenomenal job. They can't necessarily draw down as much as we can as real estate agents on data. It may just take an average of your property, but they are marketing platforms. So if it looks appealing if their valuation of your property is high, because you're going to be more inclined then to get it onto the market. So just make sure that you are contacting real estate agents to get your appraisals done. That is going to be the most accurate way to get an opinion of value on your property. Yep. And it's free.
And it's great having the yardstick. Like, it's nice, having it online, realestate.com, this is what your price is worth, Domain, this is what your price is worth, Call Logic. But it is a yardstick. So I think if you're going to be starting to bank on a figure, you don't want to have one off a yardstick. You want it off a Property Pro. And you're right, it's free.
It's free. So you can call a real estate agent out for free. We do 3-minute SMS appraisals. And I just want to point out, they're sight unseen. They're not overly accurate sometimes, right? I will look at that pricing before I send it out and go, that's so skewed. I need to just let that person know. Yeah. But then we'd like to come through and give you an accurate appraisal. And really, guys, it takes about 5 to 10 minutes.
Yeah, you can do a quick one.
We can do a quick one. All right. So that's pricing.
Ask for a quick one.
That's pricing. Let's talk about commission. Again, on average, you've seen 3 agents.
Yep.
One agent is sitting at, so the average, just to give you guys an idea, on the Northern Beaches sits at about 2% plus GST.
Yep.
Would you agree?
Yep.
Okay. So
probably across Sydney, eastern suburbs maybe a little bit less, maybe western suburbs maybe a bit higher, but the average.
Oh, I don't know, Mark.
What?
Because I was talking to an agent the other day who transacts an enormous amount of property out in the west.
Yeah, 275.
No, it was up in the 3s. Anyway, Northern Beaches, on average, let's call it 2%.
Yep.
So Agent A's come out and they're at 1.85 plus GST percent. Agent B's come out and they're at 2% plus GST. Agent C comes out and they're at 1.2% plus GST. Significantly lower. What do you reckon?
Not after the cheapest agent.
Alarm bells.
Yeah.
Alarm bells. You've got to ask the agent, why are you so much cheaper?
What are you missing out on?
You get what you pay for, guys.
Bit of desperado.
You get what you pay for.
Yeah.
Again, I can't tell you how many clients I've tried to just help out who have gone with the cheapest agent. You get what you pay for.
Any other rats?
And I want to say the same on management fees.
Yep.
Management fees.
Huge downward pressure.
Oh God!
You know,
there's an agent. There's a local agency at the moment that are offering ridiculously low management fees.
Yeah,
You
so
get what you pay for.
You do get what you pay for. Although it is becoming more automated in the property management world, there are efficiencies, especially as you start scaling and getting a bigger rent roll business. But you know, if you want quality of service. I do think there's a differentiation in fees. If you're choosing there are 3s and 4s I've heard out there, percent. There are 7s and 8s. But, you know, on average, that sort of, you know, that 6 or 7, I think if you're getting quality, you're getting no problems, not bad. But there's, you know, again, that's getting a bit,
Just be real careful with those.
They often strip out.
It scares me.
And charge on top. So yes, that's the fee.
Yeah.
Yes, it's low, but then bang, bang, bang along the way, you end up.
They're
paying
charging
more.
you for routine inspections. They're charging you on top of maintenance. They're charging you on. Just be real careful, guys. The best analogy I can give for property management services is you are giving. Let's call your apartment that you're getting someone to manage $800,000 worth. So it's valued at about $800,000. You are giving your bag of cash, $800,000, to someone you do not know to look after one of your biggest assets.
Yep.
Be real careful with this.
Yep.
Our property managers have worked for us for minimum of 10 years at Novak. That's not in the industry. That part of the industry is not heavily regulated. You can have Debbie managing your property, managing your property, and she was a beauty therapist last week, and she's managing your bag of cash, $800,000 this week. You went with the cheapest management fee. You're going to get what you paid for. My God, do we clean up some messes there? That's actually a segment. There's a whole segment there.
Those messes are sometimes 20, 30 grand.
They scare the life out of me.
The stuff up.
The stuff that we hear.
The cost to the owner, massive.
Enormous. Do not let your asset, your biggest asset, get into the hands of someone that does not have experience. And the difference between a 4% management fee and a 5 or 6% management fee is literally dollars and cents when you add it up.
Yep.
Just be real careful with that. It's like taking out insurance.
Yep.
You only realize how important it is when stuff goes wrong, and when it does, it happens real quick.
The difference is a cup of coffee.
Be real careful with that.
Of a week. Lise.
Yes.
Before we go, Friday Frenzy.
This week.
Yeah.
Let me tell you guys, has been absolutely chaotic with sales. Chaotic. The minute we list, we seem to be selling. It's exactly what I predicted a few months ago. Stock levels would dry up again, and they have on the northern beaches.
You made a comment.
That's not everywhere. Tom Panos was reporting the opposite.
Yesterday.
Why?
So we look. I always look at real estate. Yeah, I always look at realestate.com, and I always think it's a great measure of.
You look attacked. It looks very uncared for. Yes.
So I always look at how many properties are on realestate.com. Northern Beaches. Northern Beaches.
He does.
100,000 properties.
He's got a tattoo. Mark loves the graph.
Love it. And at the moment, there's 598 properties on the market.
Yeah.
That was sitting at about 498 6 months ago. It went up. And then it's been hovering around that figure. But when I quoted that figure to you yesterday, you said, that's bullshit. That's not even a good measure. And I was like, that's incorrect. That is a measure, like it or not. But you reckon the days on market are longer?
For half the amount of stock that we're seeing on realestate.com, approximately.
A lot of old stock, not much fresh stock coming on.
Yeah, so there's been, and I know, I can see just by the sales that I'm doing, Mark, I had a property, really good 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom apartment in DY that sat on the market for quite a long time, much longer than usual. The vendor did want a higher price than what the market was willing to pay, but those days on market were quite long. It was sitting at about 75 days on market, which is, it's a long time for a 2-bedroom apartment in DY. We did get it sold for a big price.
Yeah.
But then the fresh stock that's coming on with the pricing that's current right now is literally flying out the door.
Yep.
But it's all over the place. We sold a 3.5 bedroom apartment in DY. Was it yesterday or the day before?
Broke a record.
Broke a record. We're not allowed to give the price out.
$3
I had
million.
to just.
Yeah, it's can't believe
Mark said it.
you got
Not
what?
me. Were you guessing?
I can't believe
Yep.
that someone paid for an apartment in DY. I do get that.
Non-beachfront.
Non-beachfront. I do get the passion for the person paying that price, because you just can't find that.
Stunning
It's
apartment.
literally a house on top of a tower. It's beautiful. It's massive. But
Stunning,
well done
stunning
to
property.
DY, and well done to the people of DY. And I guess it shows the progress of the market, that when there's something that's really good out there, and I'm talking irreplaceable, I'm talking a unicorn, people do go bang. Irrelevant to interest rates, irrelevant to whatever turbulence there are in the market. People just don't care. They know it's long term.
And when my vendors threw a price at me that would take the property off the market, listen, guys, bear in mind, they only bought this property at the peak of the market just over a year ago for just above 2.5.
Yeah.
So the figures just don't make sense. We just had a buyer who really, really wanted this spectacular property.
Yeah.
But I was sitting at the dining table with my vendors when I was doing the appraisal, and they said, I was asked, what's the dream price? Because we always want to shoot for the stars.
Yes.
And I gave my opinion of value. And when they told me what their dream price was, which was $3 million, I said, that is massive money, guys. I just want to let you know.
Even the solicitor thought you were crazy.
It's massive money. Massive money.
Yeah.
So anyway, but we got there. That's the great news.
Congratulations to you. Congratulations to DY.
Couldn't happen to nicer people.
Yeah, I spoke to lovely owners. I spoke to a couple of people yesterday about that sale, and I said, look, we're not strutting our stuff saying how good are we. I'm genuinely excited for the suburb. I'm genuinely excited for the market, because again, it just displays that strength for good property. It's always there.
And I had appraised a really beautiful 3-bedroom apartment about 6 months ago, and my vendor had said to me at the time, Lisa, I'm really looking for something with a 3 in front. And I said, Dave, we're not there. I'll call you when the market comes up. So I called him yesterday. I go, Dave, we're there. Let's go. So stay tuned. That one's going to be coming on the market. And again, a good, honest real estate agent will say that. They won't overpromise and underdeliver. Again, a good, honest conversation with a vendor saying, market's not there. Doesn't really make sense to sell if you don't need to. I'll call you when the market comes up.
And tender closing from one of the most iconic properties ever to hit the market in DY on the Northern Beaches, a beachfront beauty in excess of $10 million. The tender's closing on Tuesday, 12 The Strand. Google it, check it out. It is
12 The Strand, DY. Once in every 50 years, these properties come on the market.
Oh yeah, this is it's one of the few that's left over that hasn't been strata, built on, stuff like that. So exciting times.
Very exciting.
Exciting times.
Guys, one more thing, because I did want to mention this before. If you have concerns that you have submitted an offer to a real estate agent and it did not make its way to a vendor, again, just in line with We Smell Right, because this did happen to a client of mine a couple of weeks ago, you can just go straight to the vendor's solicitor. The agent will hate you for it. You can do that. You can submit your offer straight to the vendor's solicitor. This is only if you have reservations around the fact that Naughty Mr. Real Estate Agent has not submitted your offer to the owner.
Or accurately, or whatever. So you can do a nice little letter. You can flick it over the lawyer, and the lawyer often just go straight over to the seller. Very rare, but does happen.
It's very rare, it does happen. Look, it happened to a client of mine a couple of weeks ago.
Again, it might be those demons that I've mentioned before, those thousands of conversations you're having about that property, that you just that concept opens up to yourself. We go, shit, could that have happened? It's a good way to go, okay, no, my offer definitely went to the agent in writing and verbally.
Peace of mind.
And my offer, and I'm just going to back it up and flick it over the lawyer, from my lawyer to their lawyer.
Vendor solicitors' details are on the front page of the contract of sale, FYI. That's where you find those details. Guys, have a great long weekend. Be safe. It's going to be a nice hot one here in Sydney.
Why is it a long weekend?
It's the King's birthday?
No, that was last time.
Labor Day. Oops. Labor Day long weekend. Whatever it is.
What does it stand for?
I don't know.
See you guys.
Have a great long
Have a good
weekend.
weekend.
Daylight savings as well.
Love you. Bye.
See ya.